What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Triple H and CM Punk have done the unthinkable, cracks in a WWE faction, WWE talent getting time off, is a premium live event in trouble, have WWE sorted out the Yeet issue, a veteran talks retirement, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. And now let's hit the intro and get straight into our first story. Our first story looks at CM Punk and Triple H have done the unthinkable. Now our top story today takes a look at last night's NXT Deadline event and how a certain wrestler made a surprise appearance. CM Punk made a shocking appearance on the show, and his appearance certainly drew interest to the show as a whole. Punk would have a memorable promo segment with Shawn Michaels in which Punk teased potentially signing with the NXT brand. The segment was notable as Punk directly mentioned his prior issues with Triple H, and in the segment, HBK would notice that Punk was sporting a Bret Hart hoodie, and Punk hilariously stated that he forgot his HBK merch. But Punk would then state that HBK and Hart made up and so had himself and Triple H, and it was all about healing. And next up, how are CM Punk and Triple H really getting along? CM Punk was said to be at the venue for the NXT Deadline for the majority of the day yesterday, and according to a report from House of Wrestling, Punk was great around everyone. In relation to how exactly Punk and the game are getting on, it looks positive, as House of Wrestling also reports backstage we're told Punk was at the venue most of the day and was described as being great around everyone. Paul Triple H Levesque was in the building for the show, and Punk's interaction with the WWE CCO was also legit very good. Those who we have spoken to close to Punk continue to talk about how happy he is and that he's just looking to keep riding the wave he's on. Now, this is great news, and hopefully it lasts. The game specifically is in a different place compared to a decade ago, and its management style seems to be favorable with WWE talent. It's worth noting that wrestlers who the game had prior bad blood with, such as Goldberg, The Ultimate Warrior, and even Scott Steiner, have all been able to work with Triple H in some capacity. Punk is now set for Raw tomorrow night, where he's expected to announce which brand he'll be signing for. Logic would assume that Punk would sign to Raw and challenge world champion Seth Rollins, likely at WrestleMania 40. There were reports that Punk vs Rollins was going to go down at the Royal Rumble, yet based on Punk's acclaimed promo on SmackDown, it looks like Punk has plans to enter the men's Royal Rumble match next month. Then this opens the door for Rollins to finish his feud with Drew McIntyre on the show and give Rollins a clean slate heading into WrestleMania's dream match with the former WWE champion. Next up, NXT Deadline Dazzles. Speaking of NXT Deadline, the show was well received by fans, and the results of the show are as follows. Dragon Lee defeated Dominic Mysterio to capture the North American Championship title, Blair Davenport and Trick Williams will win their respective Iron Survivor matches, Carmelo Hayes defeated Lexis King, Kiana James defeated Roxanne Perez in a steel cage match, and finally Ilya Dragunov defeated Baron Corbin in the main event to retain his NXT title. Next up, cracks in a WWE faction. Following Dominic Mysterio losing his NXT North American title last night, Mysterio would cut a promo for WWE's digital channels, and in the promo, Mysterio would seem to imply that cracks are forming in the Judgment Day. In his verbal rant, Mysterio would question why Judgment Day members such as Finn Balor and Damian Priest didn't come out to help him during his match with Dragon Lee. Obviously, due to the WWE having main roster live events at the same time as NXT Deadline, it would have been hard to pull the Judgment Day from the main roster show. Nevertheless, it's logical that Mysterio would question where his stablemates were. It'll be interesting to see if this plot thread is followed up on during Raw tomorrow night. Next up, WWE talent getting time off. It's now been confirmed that WWE talent and crew will be given time off over the holiday season. It was previously reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that the 25th December show of Raw wouldn't be live and will instead be a best-of show. Additionally, Fightful Select has since reported that WWE will have a full week off over the holiday season. During a recent interview, it was intimated that Triple H hopes for talent to have more time at home with their families than in the previous regime. Early on, it looks like he's making good on that. Talent that Fightful has spoken to say that WWE talent will have a full week off, in most cases ahead of Christmas, as there are no events scheduled between December 19th and December 25th. The holiday tour picks up back on December 26th. We're told that the plan for WWE SmackDown in Green Bay on December 15 as of now is a double taping. We've also asked about WWE Raw in Des Moines the following Monday, but haven't had confirmation on that. This is awesome news, and hopefully the WWE roster enjoys their well-deserved break. Next up, a WWE Premium Live event in trouble. Elimination Chamber Perth will take place February 24th, 2024, and it's been unusual that WWE haven't been promoting the success of ticket sales for the event. The likely reason for this is that the show has currently only sold just under 8,000 tickets. Yeah, that's right, 8,000 tickets. Dave Meltzer, the latest Observer, reported Elimination Chamber in Perth, Western Australia is at 7,805. That's a stadium show, so that's why they're already discounting. Now this is concerning news, as the show isn't that long away and the stadium that the chamber will take place in holds around 60,000 people. However, it is worth noting that WrestleTwix on Twitter is contesting Meltzer's report. A similar situation occurred a few years ago when WWE attempted to deliver Money in the Bank in the stadium, and due to a lack of interest, the show was eventually moved to an arena. Could WWE potentially do something of that nature here? Well, it's hard to say. On one hand, ticket sales may have moved over the Christmas period, yet with over 50,000 tickets to move in the space of a few months, WWE have a ton of work to do to generate interest in the show. The problem with moving the show to an arena is that it draws attention to the fact that WWE have failed to deliver a big number in the stadium, and that's a headline that they will ultimately want to avoid. There has been also a quote that's been making the rounds of WWE selling more than 45,000 tickets for the event. Unfortunately, this quote that comes from the West Australian hasn't proven to be true, as if you go on the website, there's no such quote that's been made or any article at all. But since there has been an update, Meltzer actually said that he got the number wrong. Reading from a spreadsheet, it's above 20,000 tickets sold, and this comes in line from WrestleTix. Also, Sean Ross Sapp said that they are north of 30,000 sold. Hopefully we'll get an accurate figure soon. Next up, have WWE sorted the Yeet issue. It appears that WWE managed to re-secure the rights to Jey Uso's Yeet catchphrase. Last night at the WWE live event, Jey would wear his Yeet merchandise and he even posted an Instagram story that stated "It's back," obviously applying to his popular catchphrase. If WWE have managed to strike a deal with the original trademark holder, then this turnaround is incredible, as they've sorted things out within a few short days. The Yeet catchphrase is a key part of Jey's babyface persona, and it would have been a shame if he was indefinitely forbidden from using the catchphrase on WWE TV. And finally, a wrestling veteran talks retirement. Our final story today takes a look at wrestling legend Billy Gunn, who has recently talked openly about his inevitable retirement. Gunn has been wrestling for decades, and despite the former multi-time WWE Tag Team Champion being 60 years old, he still moves and looks like he did 20 years ago. During an interview with A2 The K, Gunn would discuss his retirement plans, and his planned retirement match opponent may come as a surprise. Would I like to retire? Yes. Would I ever get away from wrestling? Not a chance. There's no way. I feel I have too much to offer in a sense of helping, maybe not so much in the ring. I kinda got my head spinning a little bit when I ran through by House of Black. But I got to thinking, I'm not letting people run through me like that. I have to come back. I'm not leaving on that note, even though I tried to. He then continues saying Austin and Colton weren't having it. They weren't having that retirement yet, and that's not how I'm going to retire. Austin and Colton say I have to wrestle them. That's my retirement match. I tell them Will Ospreay is my retirement match. They get so mad about that. I love Will. There's something about him, and he really does really cool stuff that I've never done that I just want to take. That's when I tell them all the time, I'm not wrestling you two for my retirement. I'm wrestling Will Ospreay. What do you guys think of Gunn's retirement match? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.